Good evening. I'm Carrie, Beehan, and I'm part of AITQR Community Theatre. Tonight, Robert Knightley, crime author, former New York cop, and current criminal defense lawyer at aged 80, is going to read from his memoirs. This story is set in 1967. It's called Policing the Hasidim. A spodek is a hat. Thank you.
I'm Robert Knightley, and I'm going to read my story. It's entitled A Police Story, Policing the Hasidim. This goes back to 1967 when I was a rookie cop, and an incident occurred to me as I walked up and down the main thoroughfare, Bedford Avenue in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, which was a Hasidic community completely. That's the Satmar sect of Judaism, of Hasidism. And they occupied a lot of North Williamsburg. I was there as a policeman. As a rookie policeman, along with 12 others who had been assigned there in May of 1967. We were sent from the police academy after only 3 weeks training to, we were all sent out, 500 of us, and 12 of us went to this precinct to deal with a particular problem they expected to have in the summer, meaning riots. They were expecting riots in the ghetto neighborhoods of all the boroughs, Brooklyn particularly, and Manhattan, and Queens, and the Bronx. So here I was assigned to a foot post by myself as we walked solo foot posts in those days. And my story will tell you what it was like and why I was there. I was sworn in as a probationary patrolman in the New York City Police Department on May 15, 1967. One of 600 men, no women, starting 6 months of vigorous legal and physical training at the police academy, located on East 20th Street in Manhattan. Training lasted about 3 weeks. In the first week of June, we were hastily packed off to police precincts all over the city in anticipation of a hot summer, meaning ghetto riots. A false alarm, as it turned out. They gave us a 38 caliber 6-shot Smith & Wesson police special revolver, showed us how it worked, then put us out in the street. Over 2 days and nights, they bussed us up to the NYPD's outdoor shooting range at Rodman's Neck in Orchard Beach, the Bronx. At night, the range illuminated by powerful giant searchlights and headlights of emergency service trucks. We unhurriedly fired off 150 rounds at paper bullseye targets at increasing distances. The high command hoped fervently, though, that we'd be able to hit what we aimed at in the street rather than innocent civilians, while praying that we'd never have occasion to draw the weapons from its holster in the first place. 12 of us reported for our first day at the 90th Precinct on Clymer Street and Division Avenue in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. We wore our regulation academy grays, gray workman's trousers with matching shirt, our shields attached through 3 holes at the left breast, clip-on tie, highly polished black shoes, socks, and regulation blue police cap with shield headpiece minus shield number. We weren't the real McCoy yet. In our first roll call in the muster room of the station house, the patrol sergeant, an old-timer appalled, ordered us to ditch the grays and get into regulation police blues before we became marks in the eyes of the criminal element. My next roll call, we were all in blue. The 90th Precinct was 2 square miles in North Brooklyn, bounded by the East River, a hop, skip, and a jump across to the Manhattan piers. The residents were equally divided between Puerto Ricans and the Hasidim of the Satmar sect of Judaism. Rumor had it that the Hasids were the reason for our presence in the 9-0. We worked steady tours 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. on one-man footposts in a straight line for 20 blocks along Bedford and Lee Avenues, from the Grand Rebbe's Victorian residence to the Marcy Avenue projects, whence the problem originated. Puerto Rican youths on bicycles each Sabbath at sundown would swoop down these avenues, wide as the Champs-Elysees, to snatch the hats off the heads of the men on their way to Synagogue. The men dressed in their Saturday best, sporting spodiks, long fur hats of mink and foxtail that retailed on Lee Avenue, the business hub, for $1,000 and up. Those spodiks went astray, however, during our occupation that June through December of 1967. One memory from my time among the Hasidim will not fade. One Friday afternoon around sundown, I was standing on post at the corner of Rodney Street and Bedford Avenue when a bent old woman approaching from behind grabbed my arm, startling me so that I dropped the nightstick I'd been practicing twirling on its lanyard. As she tugged me back up Rodney Street in the direction she'd come, I followed, feeling like a knight rescuing a damsel in distress, ancient as this particular damsel might be. She wore a black shawl on her head that hid her face, and I couldn't make out her mutterings. But I anticipated doing police work, at least something more exciting than walking up and down my 2 blocks long, 1 block wide footpost, hour after hour. I followed her into the lobby of a dirty yellow brick multiple dwelling. She bypassed the elevator, instead entering the stairwell, and we climbed 2 flights, her in the lead, me in tow. She opened the unlocked door to a darkened apartment. From the light in the hallway, I spied a light switch on the wall and flipped it on as I entered. The lights came on, revealing a neat kitchen, the parlor beyond filled with heavy old-world furniture, and the smiling face of my guide. She pointed by waving the fingers of both hands at the kitchen stove like that. And finally, I understood. When I struck a match to light the pilot on the ancient gas range, the smile on her wrinkled face was beatific. Every Friday night thereafter, whenever I was working, I made it my business to be at Rodney and Bedford for our rendezvous. She spoke little, but no matter since it sounded like Yiddish. Besides, I already knew what was expected of me as the Shabbos Goy. The Hasidim are forbidden by the religion to engage machinery, lights, stoves, elevators, on Shabbos. So she went in search of a non-believer. At the removal of nearly a half century, still nothing in my experience as a New York City patrolman is fresher, more pleasurable to me than the memory of my encounter with the old Hasidic woman. Thank you.